Hey, what's up, guys? So today we're going to talk about something that you're going to want to hear, especially if you're over age 40 and you are experiencing any muscle loss, struggling with weight gain, etc. Today I'm going to walk through the stages of fitness by age and level. And this is something that we've put together after years of training, coming up on my 58th birthday. So I'm headed towards 60 this coming weekend, and I have seen a lot over the last few years since I started in this fitness thing when I was 20. And with working with all these clients, basically what I've done is put together a gauge to show you what people are going through as they're going through these different ages. And I want to see where you are and how it's affected you, and maybe how we can help. So when you're in your 20s, things are a little different, and you can get away with some things that you may not can get away with in your 50s or in your 60s. So let's take a look. So ages 20 to 30, you're driven by hormones. Okay, so higher levels of growth hormone, testosterone, muscle growth, faster recovery. It just happens. You're 20, 25, get away with pretty much anything. You're generally more active. People are engaged in high intensity activities and different sports. They have a better metabolism, so they can eat more and get away with it. And that's how you see them eating cheeseburgers. Remember those days? Eat cheeseburgers all the time and not gain any weight. They're resilient to higher impact workouts. They pretty much feel invincible. So somebody in their 20s and 30s or 20s to 30s are rarely thinking about, hey, this is going to happen in the future. I got to be careful with my body. They're just not thinking about it. With the men, one out of every five is using or experimenting with some sort of steroids. And then a lot of the women, your influencers that are in their 20s and 30s, they're young. They may not have any children yet. They still have optimal hormone levels, or they're naturally petite, and they're the influencers and may or may not have anything to do with any knowledge of fitness. It's just how they look in a certain outfit, and people want to look like that, so they tend to follow that person. So this is that 20 to 30 age bracket, and most of the people that are in our channel are not in this bracket. Most of these people don't want to listen to somebody who is older. They just haven't gotten there yet. Okay, so then the 30s come in. So we're going through this by stages. And again, welcome, guys. In case you don't know me, I'm Alan Branch. Many of you will know my wife, Olinda. Together, we created Fitness One Training Systems, and it's a training system, a method of training to help people with quite a few things. But today, what we're discussing are the stages of fitness, and this is in our experience of what we run into with clients. And this isn't everybody. There are outliers, of course, but this is what we see. So age 30, people in their from 30 to 40 are generally trying to hold on to their fitness a little bit. 40's not here yet, so I'm going to hold on. They continue some of the workouts from when they were younger, but now they're noticing some aches and pains. Work gets more focused, so that may reduce activity levels even further. So they may notice a little bit of weight gain. They try to counteract the weight gain by doing harder workouts like they got away with in their 20s and 30s. And they get away with that generally the first half of this decade, but then it starts leading to little tweaks and injuries, which slow them down again. They're typically the people that we talk to. They're aware of aging. They want to stay in shape, but they're really not focusing on that until they're getting closer to 40. And then this is big in this age bracket. It's frustration with what we call outliers. And these are the people that are the ones like you knew in high school or whatever. They were always look perfect, would never exercise, never work out. They were always petite or genetically very small. And when you see those type of people, you can get frustrated, especially when they're cheating with some performance enhancing drugs or something like that. So now, the big one, when you hit 40, so this is what begins to happen. So we have typically a 1 to 3% loss of muscle mass per year if you don't intervene, joint stiffness and pain, difficulty losing weight. And generally, it may not be because your diet changed. It's because your metabolism slowed down And that's making weight loss more challenging. You're not burning as many calories as you were. Um, Misguided workouts. People in their 40s and 50s are still doing HIIT workouts without understanding the impact on the joints. It's just crazy that they're still doing that. There's so many ways you can do that that aren't so damaging to your body. Like, I guess we were guilty too in our 40s. We didn't know much better. And then we learned, and now we're trying to yell at everybody, the bridge is out. Stop doing that. So, another issue, 40 to 50, we tend to jump on every fad diet, switch between diets without any real success. But it's like, so and so's doing it. Let's try it. Let's try it. And there's a lot of bouncing around. And then in this 40 to 50-year-old age bracket, you got confidence issues setting in. So, we talk with a lot of people. The reduced muscle tone, joint problems, can't move as well, don't feel like they look as well, impact that self-esteem. So this is when Olinda speaks to a lot of women who now hide in the back of their photos. They don't want pictures of them. They'll say, I don't like the camera. I don't want to be on photos. So what changed between age 30 and age 40 to 50? Why is that? Well, one of the problems is nobody's teaching you what caused it. Right? So you get frustrated because there's so much confusion on what you should be doing. And then, yeah, I mean, that's why it sets in, because you just don't know. But what really happened between that 20 to 30 stage, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 is the decline of muscle mass. As you start losing that muscle, nothing looks the same, feels the same, or frankly, is the same. Then we head toward this decade, which is critical, especially if you refused to listen from the 30 to 40 to 40 to 50 to somebody to help you. So at age 50, here's where we are, age 50 to 60. Again, this is what we have seen on average. This is not everybody, but there's some things that you need to know. So at age 50 to 60, we've got significant muscle loss. So if you didn't address this problem in your 40s and 50s, it's significant now, okay? Most people just accept it. Well, muscle loss is inevitable. It's part of aging. It's just what I'm going through. So they kind of give up on that. There's still people in this age bracket are still looking like they're trying various diets, but none of these diets or the things they're doing are addressing the cause of the problem. The cause, like, stop worrying about all the other stuff. The problem is you've lost your muscle mass, and either you regain it and reverse it, or it's irreversible. There's only one or two ways to tackle this. But at that age group, much higher risk of injury because of lost muscle mass. You've lost strength, which means your coordination decreases. Your balance isn't the same. The tendons in your ankles and your knee, things just aren't as stable as they were. It is because of aging, but it's only because of aging because you did not address the problem, which is your strength. You're losing your muscle. People in this group, though, they are some of the best at looking for help. So they realize, hey, wait a second, this is going to get worse. I see what my parents were like. I don't want to be dependent on other people. I'm in my 50s. I'm not that far from retirement. I need to get this under wraps. The other thing is that this age group, doctors will start to recommend, well, you need to walk every day, which is awesome, but it does not in any shape or form address the root problem. And this is that age 50 to 60 bracket. So they're in bad shape, but they also know, hey, wait a minute, I need to get involved. I need to do something. Okay. Then we move to, and again, what I'm about to show you, this isn't everyone. There are exceptions. Of course there are. But with what Olinda gets hundreds of messages a day that have to be responded to. And this is what we compiled in the 60 to 70 age group. So this group, they're research oriented. Like, they do spend time researching fitness, but they just struggle to commit. They don't want to commit to anything. When you ask them what they do, they'll say commonly, well, I have some hand weights, but this is just not enough to build any muscle. So what they're doing is they're looking through reels or trying to find one exercise and then grab a dumbbell and do it a few times. That's just not how it works. You're not going to gain any strength. from something like that. Some of them do classes of different kinds, but a lot of these are senior based. Nothing wrong with that. My wife, Olinda, actually teaches some of these classes, but the focus in her classes is on gaining real strength. You don't gain any, you may use a 5-pound dumbbell for 2 weeks, but after that, you're going to be stronger. So you've got to increase the intensity or there's no further benefit. Like it's better than doing nothing, but you're not going to see any benefit from that. You have to strength train. And then these people, this is in this age group, Olinda will respond and offer to help. And before she can even help, the comment back is it free? I don't want it if it isn't free. Well, they don't want to. So go back of where we were, 50 to 60, 40 to 50, 30. Okay, so now it's almost too late. And the people who need it the most are the most skeptical and they don't want to. So I don't know, that makes it kind of tough for me. So you're sort of nearing the end of the road here. If you don't address this, early 60s is good. You're getting close to 70 and you still haven't fixed the problem. It's going to be tougher. So then we hit this bracket, and this is age 70 to 80. So we have two extremes here. One is they've either stayed active and maintained their strength, or they become significantly less mobile, lose strength, stop being active. Some will walk for their family, will say, hey, you got to get out and start walking, because you're not doing anything. So they'll get out and start walking, which does offer some benefit, but it does not in any shape address the actual problem, the loss of muscle mass. And they're skeptical at this age of trying anything new, which we understand this, due to disappointments of the past. So I tried all this. No, well, you tried different things, but you didn't try something that was results based for you. So, but we get it. And that's where we typically are, ages 7 to 80. They also have a lot of this, hesitancy to do anything that's official, right? So interesting about this, every age group over 40 tends to fail because they refuse to take any action and they don't heed any warnings about the muscle loss or the aging. Like it's all over the internet now. People are talking about it. Doctors, physiologists, everybody's like, after 40, start doing this. So if you don't heed the warning, then there's not a lot can be done, right? Unless you do something. So here's where we are. This is the solution for all ages. And this is where we feel like will benefit you the most. So first is strength training, age-specific strength training to maintain and build muscle. What does that look like? It is not holding a 5-pound weight and copying an exercise on a reel. It's full body, progressive. It's got to gradually intensify. Big fan of bands and some dumbbells, especially over age 40. But this has to be the focus of what you're doing. You have to prioritize your protein intake. So without it, just think of it as if you don't get enough protein, then you don't have the resources to feed the muscles so they can grow. That's the simple version. And then balance and mobility training. You got to do things to enhance your stability and your flexibility. And then really important is cognitive. So if you don't do something to maintain or improve your reflexes, hand-eye coordination, cognitive function, etc., then it's going to decline. And as it declines, then you decline. So you lose. This is something I think is worth everybody understanding. If you don't intervene and you continue to lose your muscle mass, 30, 40, 50, 60, and you refuse to take actual action of something that's going to work, then you're going to learn to not trust your body, because you're going to go to take a step or you're going to go to get up and do something and things are going to wobble. Well, you're losing your strength. Well, now you're skeptical about doing certain things. You're losing trust in your own body, which starts to limit the things that you're willing to do or try. Then you're less active, you burn less calories, and here we are, guys. We're stuck in this loop. So I want to go through that again, heading up to my 58th birthday this weekend, and I really don't feel any different than I did when I was 30, but I had people who taught me what to do when I was in my 30s and 40s. So now at 60, it's so much better for me, right? And it's nothing crazy, but it's being smart, knowing what to do that doesn't damage your body. So if you missed the video and you joined in late, you want to go back and catch the front end of that because there's a lot of good stuff in there. And what age bracket are you in? Then look at the categorization, and hopefully that isn't you. Hopefully you're the one that I'm wrong about, which I hope so for you. I really hope so, that you understand what to do and that you're staying active and you're protecting your joints and you understand the road ahead can be really rough if you don't take some sort of action. So hopefully this helps. I hope you comment. Guys, if you watch the video, please share the video if you can. Love to provide this type of information. This is my favorite. Love coaching through this stuff because it's just fun. But what's really fun is to watch people 50, 60, 70 that are like got muscle tone and their body fat is down and they're like all mobile, and they send us pictures of themselves holding their grandkids up over their head or like running a marathon. I mean, we get this stuff all the time. They go on these monster hikes with the younger members of the family who had to stop and take breaks. I mean, guys, this stuff is very rewarding for us to see what happens when you're smart about it. So comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer them. And again, think it through. Stages of fitness. Where are you? Where are you in the stages? And what can you do to make sure that your next decade, whenever that is your best one? All right, guys, I'm Alan Branch from Fitness One, filling in for Olinda today. Have a great rest of the day. Let us know if you need us. Thanks.